it's going.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I take the big and scary out of new media for most businesses. That's why I do this like this. Make it comfortable. You know, it's not about being perfect, it's about being excellent, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Don't worry about
That's
any
right.
stumbles or anything. I
Uh-huh.
can take it out. So just restate it. If you
So
want.
Okay.
where the radio show is professionally produced, this video is not edited or anything. This is what it is.
It's the real deal.
It's a real deal. Raw video.
Ready?
Hi there, you're listening to the Offbeat Business Show. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable lunch hour with us. This is Susan Hamilton, and I am talking to a local business who is pretty interesting. The name of his company is Semper Heating and Air Conditioning, so that ought to tell you a thing or two about what we're doing here. You know, all of our September shows are all about veterans, shining a spotlight on what they're doing in business that is totally excellent, and making sure we're also hitting on any needs in the community that can be met, and trying to connect those things. The Offbeat Business Show and Magazine supports veterans 4 times a year. Every time that the 80% of American small business, which are family-owned businesses of 9 employees or less, are hanging out and cooking out over Memorial Weekend, the 4th of July, Labor Day weekend, and Veterans Day, we want to make sure we're occupying the digital space with as much awesome information as we possibly can to draw attention to this vital cord that runs right through the center of American small business. Eric, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm speaking with Eric Castaneda.
I appreciate you for having me.
So you've been doing some cool things in town.
Literally.
True, right? So how long have you been in air conditioning?
I've been in 10 years, but actually only been in business the 20th of this month. It'll be a year.
Nice, nice. I see that you have a beautiful family. I've noticed you put them up on Facebook, and you've been able to enjoy your summer.
Yes, ma'am, a little bit.
That's good. You know how many people can't do that? Because they just don't take the time. They're so focused on what they're doing, they don't realize the value. Or they wish they could, and they just can't figure it out.
Well, it
You've
is.
managed to
It's
be able to
hard.
do this.
It is hard to be able to, I guess, draw that line in the sand to where making time for the family. Because in the end, I mean, it's not all about making money. I mean, that's part of it. But in the end, family is what matters most. For me, at least.
No, it is for me too. I mean, I've got to decide every single day what I'm out here doing this for, right?
Exactly.
And I love supporting American small business. I believe that we really can improve our American business influence locally, nationally, and abroad if we are having these types of conversations and just bringing some reality to other business owners, because we live in fantasy land, don't we? We've got these strange ideas of what it really means to be in business today, and a lot of us can sometimes feel like, wow, we're not measuring up, or that's too big, or that's too ridiculous for me to ever try, when the reality is, if we see somebody else doing something and it works, we need to be willing to step into that space and learn something new.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
So tell me, you wear it like a badge, your service with us, and thank you so much for everything that you bring to the table. What do you think you really bring as a military veteran to the business? Do you recognize some traits that you're bringing with you from your service?
Absolutely. Just driven and we're just not giving up.
Yeah.
Not just stopping at a no, or just keep going no matter what.
But you're an easygoing guy. You're not obnoxious or pushy.
Sometimes.
But somehow you've managed to understand that, asking that one time isn't going to open the door, is it?
No.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to take no quite a few times.
I think so too.
If you're going to make it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So did you serve in Afghanistan or
No,
any
man.
other
I was
local?
actually in Kosovo.
Okay.
I was in from 97 to 01.
Okay. Well, that had to be an interesting experience.
That it was.
Was that cold?
Oh, actually, no, it was pretty warm.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. It was actually, it was interesting. I mean, we were just there on a policekeeping mission after we'd done a bunch of bombing before that.
So you go in there. and keep the peace afterwards.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know they appreciate that, and we sure did. So, what's going on in your industry today that you see yourself rising above? Because I imagine you see a handful of trends out there. You seem to be somebody who sits back and you kind of look at it. Now, tell me if I'm reading you wrong, Eric. Tell me if I'm reading you wrong. But I get
right
the
so
impression. I get the impression that when I talk and I you pay attention.
Yes.
You kind of sit back for a little bit and you got your eye on what's going on around you, and you look for ways that you're better, and that you can improve this or improve on that when you see it. You just have that demeanor to me.
Yes.
That you're that kind of guy. What are you noticing out there right now that, especially in your industry, that business owners need to know? I mean, when you think about how many of us are doing business out of our homes, that applies commercially or residentially, I imagine.
Yes, it does. I mean, I do Semperfi's residential and commercial. For right now, not for too much longer, just a one-man show, and operating out of the house. But
well, most amazing how many do. Yeah.
But as far as watching how things can be done better, you're absolutely right. That's what I've done for the last 9 years, well, about 10 years, and as far as setting myself aside from the others, one of the things that I really didn't like, as far as, I mean, I've always been, a team player, hardworking, and this and that, to where, it seems like these bigger companies are just like more of a corporate America, a fake pat on the back saying, "Hey, good job," and then go out there and do more. I knew I wasn't put on this earth to be just a number for anybody. I want to make a difference, and once Semper gets to that level, I want to make sure that all the employees are feel like they are actually appreciated, sincerely, and that they do make a difference, and want to get have all Semperfi's employees get involved in charity work and giving back. So some people that never really experienced on giving back, and just have them experience that and just make a difference in each other's lives and people and just the world as a whole.
Yeah, all these things really do impact us, and the attitude, I think, is what you're really addressing too. Just that if you create that culture of, hey, we're participants in our community, we're part of this group. Let's see where we fit in this huge puzzle piece that is humanity.
And caught up in the nonsense.
There's a little bit of nonsense.
Yes, there is.
So you probably see a lot, as I do, a lot of the nonsense that makes it difficult to do business in America today. That there's some struggles that go on that have legislation has not made things easier for the average small business. But I think that there's some things that we can improve on. And one of the things I talk about all the time is use tax, and how ridiculous that is that we let a handful of people sit around at a table and decide there was a use tax. Please. Nobody said, wait a minute. Really? And I hope that one day, we really pay attention. That's what I see. I see we're so busy that oftentimes that's what stops us from paying attention to legislation that directly impacts us. We don't seem to have time to look at it. I mean, how, in an ideal world, where does your heart go when you think about the community efforts and what you want to stand for?
Well, here just recently, where I met you at the VIB networking group, I just started getting back, and I was going to networking groups before, but something started weighing on my heart. I've always, been, veteran, supporter, but never really got involved. And started going to the VIB networking, other networking groups too. Man, I just got lost right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I see, it's easy in what I learned, the more I spend time in the veteran community. It's a humble group.
It is.
It's a humble group. I mean, you don't sit there looking at your time that you spent doing that the way we do, the way the people that respect you and look at that and go, oh wow, look what you did. That's pretty cool. A lot of you guys tone that down a lot for yourself, so you don't look at what that means. I
No,
think,
it's,
and so I think I get why you probably didn't connect. Oh wow, that's me. I should be here, right? And I should
Mhm.
participate in that way. It didn't occur to you, did it?
no. I mean, it was all, it's all, I know for the majority of us, it was all selfless to begin with, and, we don't pat ourselves on the back for doing what we did. It was just wanting to, for most, serve our country and, say, be able to say something, do something with our lives that we were proud of.
Yeah. The thing of it is, if we don't start talking about it and we don't start making a big deal out of it, there lacks an influence that needs to be made, and we have to. So I'm really glad that you got involved with such a wonderful group. They do a great job of connecting people and making
Yes.
sure that those conversations are had. But I just urge all of you to reach out and make sure you join your local veterans networking groups in business, because like Eric is mentioning, this is not something you really just think about, but at the same time, if we don't start working together and having a stronger voice, it becomes less and less important to America at large, and that can't be the case. That just can't be the case.
I mean, the more numbers we have, the more powerful we are.
And then the more positive, we need to be hearing more
Yes,
about your
absolutely.
successful business kicking butt and getting out
Yes.
there and wanting to do things a cut above.
Yeah, together we can definitely absolutely make a difference. I mean, there's so much out there that needs changing.
Yeah. So what would you like to tackle at some point in your business when you look at it all and you go, you know what, that could really be improved? What do you see?
Well, just like the gentleman you talked to before, John, I just, became also
That's
fellow-
right.
a fellow.
Describe for our audience. That was last week, and someone may have missed John's. Show them your finger and your black ring. Talk about what that means.
It represents the 22 veterans that commit suicide every day. I also went to school with a buddy of mine. His name's John Corcoran, served in the Marine Corps as well. Well, I come to find out that he actually did suicide by cop, and those statistics aren't accounted for the 22 a day.
Oh wow! So that's I bet there isn't anybody differentiating that. They just see somebody, they
It's
call them
just-
crazy, and wow.
But just want to try to help give back and make a difference, get the word out to bring those numbers down to none.
So those rings have a little bit to do with helping people ask you what you're wearing the ring for.
Yes, ma'am.
But the way I understand it, it also means that to other veterans, they recognize that you've become a
Okay.
resource when you wear that ring.
Absolutely. So if another brother or sister sees a ring, then they know they can come to us, or if they're going through some hard times, maybe on something in their mind that something they can relate to. It's support.
Yeah, it's like, hey friend, we can have the same conversation,
Mhm.
and I get you. So talk to
Absolutely.
me, and they can see that from across the room. And that's wonderful, because whether they're at the grocery store, at a bar, doesn't
Mhm.
matter where you run across that, you start to recognize. And ever since I've been exposed to the black ring, I'm paying attention, and I notice them wherever I go, and that's pretty great. That's pretty great. Friends, I hope you're enjoying this conversation with Eric Castaneda of Semper Heating and Air Conditioning, and we will be back in just a few moments. You're listening to the Offbeat Business Show.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie.